Would you like to see a city given over, soul and body, to a tyrannizing game? If you would, there's little need to be a rover, for St. Andrews is the abject city's name. It is surely quite superfluous to mention to a person who has been here half an hour that golf is what engrosses the attention of the people with an all-absorbing power. July the 19th, 1984. 100 years since the poem. And what's different? Not a lot. St. Andrews is again given over, and the faithful flock in to share the obsession in such record numbers that the Royal and Ancient will dip into its pockets and increase the prize money even while the championship is being played. The traditional role of surprise early leader was filled fittingly by a Scot. Bill Longmuir, starting in the still air of morning, returned to 67, a score later emulated by Greg Norman, the Australian who just lost the US Open in a playoff, and Peter Jacobsen from the States. On the second day, the crowds waited for Longmuir to crack, and eventually, though not finally, he did, at the infamous 17th, the road hole. He came to it 9 under par and left it with a treble bogey 7. Longmuir and company gave way to Ian Baker Finch, a young and little-known Australian. And, of course, we all expected him to collapse. Well, he stood 10 under par, and then he came to the 17th.
And he's in the notorious road bunker. Third shot. And well played. That bunker that's caused so many problems over the years, but young Baker Finch with a very holeable putt for his par 4.
So Baker Finch pars where these first 2 days 312 golfers will play, and 223, over 2/3 of them, will bogey or fare even worse. Remember the 17th. It's clear it'll be a potent factor in this championship. But meanwhile, young Baker Finch soldiers on.
Final hole of this second round. His second shot.
And pitches in the face and goes back into the hollow they call the Valley of Sin.
And if he gets down in 2 from there, even though the flag's on the front of the green, he'll have done well. But 2 putts he needs for a 66, and what a cracking round that would be. Up the bank she comes, looks to be a good speed. Very good indeed, but still 4 feet or so from the hole. Now, can he escape with another fighting par 4? This for a round of 66. Yes, fine putt, a 66. 6 under par on the day, 10 under for the first 2 rounds in the championship, and at the halfway stage, he leads by 3. And what a tribute that board is to the internationalism of this championship. An Australian, an American, a Spaniard, an Englishman, and a Scot, all in the first 5.
The third day dawns calm, and the early starters capitalize. For one, Jack Nicklaus. For another, Sam Torrance.
Nicklaus at the 16th, par 4, just 382 yards. One of the features here at St Andrews, of course, the huge double greens. Jack Nicklaus, who received earlier this week an honorary doctorate of law
from the St Andrews University.
On the green, but really not threatening from such long range. Opened up with a round of 76, which was very un-Nicklaus-like, then a 72, so started the day 4 over par, now only 1 over. Well, he's done it. And that takes him back to level par for the championship.
Nicklaus will finish in 68. Torrance, the Scot, has a putt for a 65.
He was out in 30 this morning. No, just skims by, but that'll be a simple tap-in and a fine round of 66 for Sam Torrance, even if he did have a bit of luck with the weather early on.
But now, as the leading contenders prepare to go out, the turn of the tide brings a fresh breeze, and it'll blow behind them as they progress outward to the Eden estuary.
And playing the first hole, it's the defending champion, Tom Watson. 370 yards, a par 4. Watson's second shot, he's 5 under and sharing 6th place. Playing a sand iron. Needs to hurry if he's going to get over the water. Oh, well. That bounced over the Swilcan Burn, the little stream running in front of this green, and Watson escapes with a minor miracle at the very first hole. Now playing with Watson, and already just on the edge of the green, Jaime Gonzalez from Brazil. 4 under par. Out of the little hollow, up and over the top. Very well judged indeed. And that's a certain par 4. Now Watson for a birdie 3. And straight away, Watson goes to 6 under par, just 4 behind the leader.
At first, Watson's birdie seems no big deal because this opening hole's played easily today. But the wind brings difficulty, and none among the 2 pairs who follow can emulate him. And now, the penultimate pair.
Seve Ballesteros, the champion in 1979, and Lee Trevino, winner in 1971 and 72. Both 7 under par. Ballesteros' second shot. A real punchy shot. Looking for this ball to grip on about the 2nd or 3rd bounce now, but it doesn't. It's on a little hard bit, little downslope. Not what Dr. Trevino ordered at all. And he'll be well pleased to roll this close to the hole side. Which he does quite beautifully. Trevino, 4. Now Seve. No, always on the low side. So just a little tap in for Seve for his par 4. And they both remain 7 under par. And they're succeeded up this first hole by the leader, Ian Baker Finch, the young 23-year-old from Queensland, Australia. Astonishingly, he's 10 under par. He fairly slices that club face under the ball in an effort to get backspin. Playing with young Baker Finch, they have Britain's Nick Faldo. sharing second place at 7 under par. Downwind, ground hard. How hard it is to get close to this first flag. The wind freshening. Meantime, let's go ahead to the third hole and catch up with Tom Watson. We saw him birdie the first. He's just dropped a stroke at the second. Second shot from Watson. And that's mighty fine indeed. He's back to 5 under. But he has a very holeable putt for a birdie 3. Birdie, bogey, birdie, and once again, Watson is 6 under par. We'll go back to the first to watch young Baker Finch. All the pressure's on him now. Everyone waiting to see if he cracks. Crack indeed. Not so. A birdie, 11 under par, and now leads by 4 strokes. Well, Faldo's putted up from the back of the green, and now has this for his par. Oh, no, no, no. A 5 for Faldo, a miserable start. That miss from no more than 16 or 17 inches, and that puts him back to 6 under par.
Faldo will drop 4 strokes to par on this outward 9. But others begin to progress, notably Lanny Wadkins from the States, Fred Couples, the American Tournament Players Champion, Ballesteros eventually, and Bernhard Langer, the West German, most emphatically.
A fine putt indeed, and the first birdie of the day for Langer at the 4th hole.
And as for Watson, he just surges on.
Second shot at the par 4 7th, sand wedge. And another Watson special.
1 par, 1 bogey, and 5 birdies. And now, with 3 in a row, he goes 9 under par.
And Baker Finch, 11 under, back at the par 4 4th hole. And would you believe it, another birdie. And that puts the young man from Australia 12 under par.
At the long 5th, the young Australian gets another birdie. He turns in 33 at 13 under par. Yet ahead, Watson was out in 32, and now in the inward half, he's had 2 more birdies, stands 11 under par, and is only 2 strokes behind.
So, Watson looking very good at the 13th, and this young man, Bernhard Langer, going extremely well. Here he is on the 11th tee. He's 8 under par. He birdied 3 holes in a row in the outward 9, and this one looks on target. Yes, indeed, he's on the right side of the green to give him an uphill putt. Good chance of a birdie from there. Now playing with Langer, Fred Couples. 6 under par. This hole 172 yards. These two are really going at it, hammer and tongs. 2 splendid shots here at the 11th. Just Langer to putt first. Little bit of slope, maybe just right of centre. No, it wandered away. But that's a simple little tap in for his par 3. Off he goes. Now Fred Couples with quite a holeable putt for a 2. Could be a shade of movement on this. So young Couples making quite an impression here, playing in his first Open Championship in Britain. And he goes to 7 under par. Now Watson at the 14th. This for a birdie 4. Chance gone. Only a par 5.
But even a par at the 14th is for Watson almost a bonus, because this hole, where on the first day the 1981 champion Bill Rogers took 12, is for many a graveyard. Langer bogeys it, Watkins bogeys it, Trevino bogeys it, Couples double bogeys it, and today only Langer will recover.
Oh, a fine putt by Langer at the 15th. That's a birdie, and that gets him back to 8 under par.
And now Baker Finch bogeys the 14th. In short, this today is one of the 2 most dangerous holes on the links. The other, of course, is the 17th. And now it confronts the champion.
Just short of the green. He must get down in 2 more if he's to get his par 4.
Hit it.
Oh, lovely touch. Virtually stone dead. And a certain par 4 for Watson. And suddenly there's only 1 stroke in it. Watson still 11 under. Baker Finch 12 under. Back at the 16th hole now, we catch up with Seve Ballesteros, who's 9 under par. Yes, a birdie 3. Well, he's had a long run of pars, but he's now 10 under, going to the 17th. Meantime, up at the 18th, Tom Watson studying his second shot. 354 yards this hole, par 4, with the green tucked almost under the very windows of the R&A clubhouse. On line, looks good. Oh, almost pitched in the hole. There it goes, no more than 8-9 feet from the hole. Huge crowds gathering to see whether Watson can finish with yet another birdie for a round of 65 strokes. No, not to be a 66, but surely that must be one of the best rounds of his career. 7 birdies, 10 pars, 1 bogey. 205 for Watson and an 11 under par total for the 3 rounds played.
Behind Watson, the 17th has been Ballesteros' downfall for the 3rd day running. He takes 5 and finishes the day 9 under, tying with Langer. Couples is off the board, humiliated again by the 17th. And now that fiendish hole threatens Baker Finch.
And the young man with a real problem here, you can see he's well short of the green, and this will be his 3rd shot. A real pitch and run, trying to use the humps and hollers and swing it round off the bank, and it nearly goes onto the road, but not quite. But he'll have that to save his par. This for a 4. A good try, but it doesn't disappear, and that's a 5, a 1 over par 5 for Baker Finch. And the young Australian is now tied with Tom Watson with just 1 hole of this, the 3rd round, left to play. He fires his drive away up this vast shared fairway here at the 18th. Ballesteros and Trevino vacate the green. as Baker Finch surveys his second shot. In the second round, he just underclubbed a little bit and got into that valley, that hollow, known as the Valley of Sin in front of this green. Still trying to slice right under the ball, trying to get maximum backspin. Has he pitched it up far enough? Oh, it's coming back into the same valley that caught him out in the second round. Now, can he salvage a par 4 from there, as he did then? Just look at that bank facing him. Third shot. Oh, that's mighty fine indeed from there. His playing companion, Nick Faldo, well, he's had a bad day. Began 7 under, now only 3 under. All eyes have switched from Faldo to Baker Finch. This for a 4 to keep a share of the lead. Very well holed indeed. A round of 71 and a total of 205. And despite those setbacks on the inward 9, there he is, still tied for the lead, and still a day to go.
On the tee, Tom Watson. Sunday, July the 22nd. Perhaps a day for history, because Watson's won 5 Opens. One more will tie the 70-year-old record of Harry Vardon, and he's now, in most of our minds, the favourite. Yet the presence of Baker Finch at his shoulder is evidence that nothing is certain. And 2 shots played in front of him at this first hole serve as a reminder that this, as the poet said, is a tyrannising game. The first comes from Lanny Wadkins, the American. Overnight 4 under par and 7 off the pace. And the second comes from Langer, the German. 9 under and just 2 behind the leaders. And playing with Langer today, there's always Ballesteros to reckon with.
Well, now, Seve, we saw him play pretty well yesterday. 14 pars, 3 birdies, just that 1-5 at the 17th. This from about 10 feet for a birdie 3 at the opening hole. And that must be considered an opportunity gone. He does not like it. But he has to remain 9 under par. Bernard Langer now 10 under as they move off the first green and make way for the leaders.
The wind a touch more variable today. Ian Baker Finch first.
And that has to hurry. Carries the burn, spins back. And that's desperately unlucky. And that's going to be a penalty stroke. Now Tom Watson's second shot. Watson going for his 3rd Open Championship victory in a row. And that hasn't been done since Peter Thompson.
In the mid-50s.
Watson safely on in 2. Baker Finch about to, sadly, pick the ball from that watery grave. Keep that point between him and the flag. There's the adjudicator saying that's where it crossed. You must drop and chip back over the water. You don't drop it on the green side, dear. No, you come back here. And the ball dropped not nearer the hole. But this is his fourth shot. Prettily done. And that virtually assures him of a 5. It might have been a lot worse. But how costly is that second shot going to be come close of play tonight? Now Watson for a birdie 3. Well, a nice opening putt. He just tapped that in for his par 4. And that's good enough for Watson to take the lead, because young Baker Finch still has this little putt for a 1 over par 5. So immediately Tom Watson leads the championship outright. And down on the bottom there, the name of Lanny Wadkins. We'll be here, in fact, he's now gone 6 under. Here he is at the 6th, putting for a 3. And in it goes. 3 birdies in the first 6 holes, 7 under. Nice start for Wadkins. And behind him at the 5th, we have Ballesteros. This hole a par 5, Seve's 3rd. Nips it up and lets it ease down the hill towards the hole. And that's a sweet little chip shot from Seve. He's had 4 straight pars today. Langer playing with him, bogeyed the 3rd and is now back to 9 under. And meantime, back at the par 4 4th hole, Tom Watson still 11 under, Baker Finch 10 under. Baker Finch's second shot. And that's going to be a long way from the hole. Trouble for young Baker Finch here. Back to the 5th now, and Ballesteros. Tricky little putt. Starts to swing. Oh, yes. First birdie of the day. And Seve goes to 10 under par. Now Langer. But this putt is for his par 5. No. So that'll be a 6. And after that brilliant opening birdie, he slipped back after 5 holes to just 8 under par. Ballesteros 10 under, tying now for 2nd place with Baker Finch, who's gone well past with his first putt at the 4th, so has this for par. So that's his 2nd lapse in 4 holes. And when he's tapped this in, he will have dropped a stroke and gone back to just 9 under par. Now Watson. This also for a par. Oh, Alfie Files, Tom's caddy, can't believe it. Tom drops a stroke, and suddenly he and Ballesteros are tied for the lead. Back on the leaderboard, down there at 5 under, Nick Faldo. But in trouble at the short 11th hole. Plays a very fine shot indeed. Well, 76 yesterday, but going well today, and once more looking as if he's going to be Britain's best in this year's championship.
At the top, Baker Finch's heroics are sadly over. And a double bogey at the 6th confirms it. Wadkins, who began the day 7 off the pace, is attempting what seems impossible. Langer struggles on the greens. But both still lurk, waiting for Watson and/or Ballesteros to crack. Around the loop of holes at the far end of the links come significant developments.
Ballesteros at the par 3, 8th. Oh, beautiful stroke. What a chance for a birdie, too. Now Langer. Into the breeze, 178 yards. Also a superb tee shot. Langer had a few putting problems early on. And in fact, as we look at him lining up this putt, we see he's gone to the reverse grip. And that was a bit short and a bit quick, and it's not in. Not really anything to do with the line. I think that time Bernard struck it poorly. And now Seve. No mistake at all. And Seve takes the lead, possibly for the first time since he won the championship back in 1979 at Royal Lytham. And down there at 6 under, Greg Norman playing well ahead of the others. Here at the 18th, the final hole. A marvellous round going for him today. Now, if he can hold that one, he'll finish at 7 under par, and that will surely give him a high place finish. This for a 66. Oh, clumsy. No, a 67, which should have been a 66, but that's a finish of 282, 6 under par. And this young Australian who recently lost in a playoff for the US Open, well, I'm sure he's still going to finish here in the top 6 at St Andrews. And out at the far end of the course, round the loop, it's getting tighter and tighter. This is the par 3 11th, 172 yards with a deep bunker named Strath lying across the front of the green as the players pitch up to it. On the tee, it's Langer. Just birdied the 10th, as indeed did Lanny Wadkins. And another gem of a shot from Langer. Now Seve, can he match that shot of Langer's? An 8-iron. Downwind, of course, but Seve does not give it enough. He doesn't make it up the hill, and I feel sure he underclubbed. There it goes, back down the slope. Still going. What's he going to do? Is he going to putt it, chip it? Try and use the slopes. He putts it. Look how long it takes to get up, but is it going to make it? Only just. Still Seve's turn. This now for a par 3. Oh, tried hard, but that's a 4, a 1 over par 4, and that must be, well, must go down as a costly error. And a chance for Langer. This for a 2. Will it keep its line? No, just falls away. But he'll get his par 3. And Ballesteros now once again in a tie with Watson, who's at the 10th. Now, this hole measures 342 yards, and under these downwind conditions, Watson's driven the green, as Ballesteros had before. Seve then three-putted. Now, don't tell me that could drop in for an eagle too. No, but it's a certain birdie 3, and how quickly the fortunes of golf can change. Minutes ago, Ballesteros was riding high, leading Watson by 1. Now suddenly, he's 1 behind. Second shot to the 12th. Just a 9-iron for Seve at this hole, measuring 316 yards, and right at the pin. An immediate chance to get that stroke back. He dropped at the 11th. But first, Langer from below the ridge, playing 3. This, a short par 4 hole. The wind is freshening, though, against and across the players on the homeward route. Oh, that's how it's been for Bernhard over the last few holes. They're not just dropping. That's a par 4. Now Ballesteros for a birdie 3. And that really could be disaster for the young Spaniard. A real chance gone a-begging. That's how they stand. But even as we look, we hear that Watson's now in trouble at that same 12th hole. A rather over-ambitious, if not too wild a drive has put him into the bushes. It's unplayable. He's got to pick a spot where he can drop it. It's going to cost him a penalty stroke, and he'll be playing 3. I really don't know what Watson's thinking was here with a driver. And his third shot goes scampering to the back of the green. Well, a long putt now for Watson, if he's going to salvage a par 4, and that's asking a lot. I wonder what his thoughts are. Good line, but woefully weak and still a bit to do.
A 5 for Watson, where he should really have got a 4. And would you believe it? This championship is again tied at the top.
Watkins beginning to slip away. Baldo finishes 6 under, like Greg Norman. And we've just heard that Fred Couples has birdied the last hole to finish 7 under.
And the amazing computers which monitor the Open also tell us, incidentally, that Fuzzy Zeller, the US Open champion, has finished 3 under, and Ben Crenshaw, the Masters champion, 2 under.
Now back out on the course. What a situation. Watson with a putt for a birdie at the 13th. Ballesteros with a putt for a birdie at the 14th. Watson first. Oh, touche! Would you credit it? 2 putts, 2 birdies, still tied at 11 under par.
With such heady goings on at the top on this hazardous homeward 9, it's easy to overlook the efforts of the near-missers and the also-rans.
Lee Trevino at the final hole. And one last brilliant iron shot from Trevino, who's been on the fringe of contention almost throughout this championship, but never quite made it. 3 under par.
The veterans and the youngsters.
Ronan Rafferty, 20 years old, from Ulster.
Putting for a final birdie. Oh, not quite. A 71, and what a fine championship he's had. 284 total, that's 4 under par, and assuredly a place in the top 10.
And behind, inevitably, the tension mounts. Ballesteros at the 16th. With a putt that, if holed, would have regained him the outright lead. Lanny Watkins, the 14th and 17th undid him, but he has a 69 for 7 under and a share of 4th place. And now, possibly, the crunch, because the 17th confronts Ballesteros.
Well, he's been over par at this hole every day so far. 461 yards, a par 4. And what a daunting drive over the outline of the old black railway sheds. You can go as far right as you dare towards the new Golf and Country Club. That's a safe line, way to the left. He's been over there the 3 previous rounds. Probably okay. But in the rough, I think. Now Langer. Much more to the right, but safe and true. So they're now approaching one of the most formidable second shots in golf, in the very shadow of the Old Course Golf and Country Club. To this green, with the bunker in the front and the road behind. All right for some up there on the Country Club balcony, but down here, well, Langer's second. Down the right side, has he hit it too hard? It could go on the road. No, stopped very quickly on the top of the bank, and that'll leave him a long putt. Now Seve ponders. Lying all right, but not a very good line in over the bunker if he's going to go right at the pin, and of course the road and the stone wall waiting for him behind. Back on the tee, Tom Watson arrives and waits to drive. Seve's shot, about 200 yards. And believe it or not, that was a 6-iron, smashed with every sinew in his body. It digs in, it runs forward. It stops, and that's a bit of magic. A 6-iron from there is quite incredible. But first it's Langer to putt. Oh, a lovely pace, beautifully judged. And virtually certain of getting his par 4. Meanwhile, back on the tee, 461 yards behind, Tom Watson prepares to drive. And that's a brave or foolish line indeed. Could be out of bounds. Oh dear, oh dear. Is it in or is it out? Am I going to play 3 off the tee? No. He's all right. And up at the green, Seve prepares to putt. He mustn't take more than 2. A smooth stroke indeed. Right to the hole side. A little tap in, a casual tap in. A par 4, and Ballesteros stays 11 under. And as Langer prepares for his par 4, Seve looks back up the fairway and sees that Watson, having thought he might be out of bounds, is in fact in the perfect spot down the right-hand side of the fairway. He's got a 2-iron in his hand. Still tying for the lead. But Watson seems uncharacteristically indecisive, and I fancy if he's going to take a 2, he needs to play this very flat, pitching 60, 70 yards short of the green, using the ground and letting the front of this 17th green swing the ball up towards the hole.
And that's a full-blooded hit from Watson, and he looks slightly agitated. Oh, disaster for Watson. That's over the road, up against the wall. Both features are integral parts of the old course, and there's no free relief from there. He'll have to play it as it lies, and that could be the end of Watson. But Ballesteros, oblivious of Watson's plight, as he walks up the final hole to survey and play his second shot. Just a pitch over the Valley of Sin. Fairways are very dry, bone hard. Seve nips it up beautifully. Oh, a gem of a shot. A chance for a three. Seve's been having a bit of a lean time of late for him, but surely now he must have a slight scent of victory in his young nostrils. As back at the 17th, Watson has this desperately difficult third shot to play. Just a jab and a punch and across the road and skips up the bank, and it could come back off that slope. But not really. And he'll have to hold that putt if he's to stay tied for the lead with Ballesteros. Seve at the 18th for a birdie three. A putt that will swing from right to left. Oh, what ecstasy. A birdie three, a 69, 12 under par, a total of 276. A new record aggregate for an Open Championship on the old course at St Andrews. And it's surely going to make Seve the champion. But we'll have to wait a moment and see. Langer, also for a birdie. This for a 71. A fine birdie three, a total of 278. Well, Langer's never won a major championship, and he won't win this one. He finishes 2 strokes behind Ballesteros, but what a great effort. So he'll go from 9 to 10 under. And now, Watson. He must hold this long putt to have a chance of forcing a playoff with Seve. This for a 4. No, it's still in view, and so that's a 5. Well, what a dramatic swing. A few minutes ago, he was tied with Ballesteros. Now, all of a sudden, he's 2 behind.
You could, I suppose, say it's the end of this entire gripping 113th Open. Watson's lone hope is for a miracle, or to be more specific, an eagle 2 at the 354-yard final hole. In today's conditions, he can't drive the green, though, knowing the man, one senses it entered his mind. The rest will be formality and informality.
Well, amazing crowds this week, more than 193,000. That's 50,000 more than the previous record. And for the first time, ticket sales topped £1 million. The prize money, an unprecedented 451,000, as Watson walks all the way to the pin to survey this second shot. Because the only thing that can save him now is if he can miraculously put this shot right into the hole. But not today.
And now it really is all over as far as winning and losing and records are concerned. For Watson, though, it still isn't quite the end.
He needs to hold this for a birdie 3 to take second place alone. No, it's not to be. A final round of 73 for Watson and a total of 10 under par. 2-7-8 and a great reception. He looked likely to keep his championship for much of the day, but at the end he shares second place with Bernhard Langer, and Varden's record still stands. And now the final putts of this year's Open from young Ian Baker Finch. And he only needs one. What a superb finish. This young Australian, who gave us such excitement on the first 3 days, has the last word. Ends up with a rather sad 79 for a total of 4 under par and a share of 9th place. We will always remember that 66 of his in the second round, commemorated there by the traditional Crown Jewellers silver scorecard, presented every year to the man who first scores the lowest round in the championship. As for the higher placings, there they are.
And the winner of the gold medal and champion golfer for the year with a score of 276, Severiano Ballesteros.
Sevi Ballesteros is 27. 5 years ago, he won the Open audaciously. This week, he's triumphed by strategy, control, temperament and skill. St Andrews in 1984 witnessed his maturity.